What's up, guys? We're back again today with another video on Super People. Today's video is going to be a little bit shorter than most of our other videos, considering the fact of what we're actually doing in today's video. If you guys can't already tell by the title, we are going to be going over some of the graphical settings for the game to help you guys increase your FPS value and just make your game a little bit smoother. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you guys like and subscribe if you guys enjoy the video and this content. I'll be doing a little bit more of some tips and tricks videos throughout the rest of the week just to help everyone that's a little bit newer to the game, so you guys make sure you turn on the bell notifications. That way you could see when all the other content for the game comes out, alright? So today, obviously, we're going to be going over just your regular settings, so we're going to go ahead and switch over to the gameplay real quick. Okay, so step number one, we're going to go over the graphics tab. So resolution, I play on 1680 by 1050. I've always liked a little bit more of a stretch resolution. I just like the way that the crosshair, stretches out a little bit. I like the size of the character models when you use this resolution. And it's not too stretched to where it makes your clips or video quality look like shit, or you just you can't see people when they're a little bit too close or too far away from you. So it's like a nice little balance in between stretched res and native. It's not too bad. So yeah, so we do 1680 by 1050. I always play my game in full screen mode. You could still tab out. You don't even have to alt tab. You could just press the Windows key and get out of that just fine. Maximum frame rate limit, I don't know why that's on unlimited, but obviously all you're going to want to do for this is go ahead and just choose the actual FPS value that matches your monitor. So if you go to 60 hertz, you want to do 60 FPS, 140, 144, right here, and then 240 if you guys do have a 240 hertz monitor. It's just going to be the same refresh rate as your monitor that you're going to want to cap that at. Frame rate in the lobby, keep that at 60. You really don't need to go above anything over 60 FPS for the lobby. It's just your loading screen and whatnot. Vertical sync, I got disabled. Smooth frame rate disabled as well. NVIDIA reflex, low latency, I have that turned off as well too. It seems like if you have that turned on, you kind of get a little bit of screen tear, and you don't really want that. I keep my brightness at 2.2. This game's not like others where it's like really dark, and 2.2 just seems good enough for me to be able to see everything. I guess it's just really preference on how good your guys' eyes are and how good you guys can see in game. So if you want to turn that up, you always can. It's not really going to fuck with your FPS too much. FPP mode, FOV, got that at max. Like always, pretty much any game I always play max FOV. Now we're going to get into our advanced settings. So I got mine set on custom, and I have everything completely turned either on very low or off, except for my view distance. I got my view distance on high. If you guys have a better graphics card than me, obviously you want to put yours on, ultra for view distance. You can never go wrong with that. Everything else though, besides that, if you're a content creator, if you guys are streaming, if you guys are making YouTube videos, TikToks, anything like that, you guys always should downscale all of your settings to get max FPS value out of your game. That's my personal preference. I think it makes the game run smoother. You're not really suffering too much in detail aspect, like the game's still gonna look beautiful no matter what. You're just not gonna have those very fine-tuned graphics that obviously you really don't need. I mean, the more of this shit that you have turned on, the worse your game is gonna be running, especially when you start getting into fights with nukes and nades and everything else going off as well. So textures, have them very low. Shadows, very low. Like I said, view distance, I have that on high. Foliage, very low. Effects, very low. Shaders, low. Anti-aliasing, very low. Post-processing, very low. Depth of field, disabled. And I do have the sharpen on 2.0. If you're playing on a little bit of stretch res like me, if you don't have it at 2.0, the game will look like a little bit grainy and like blurry, so you don't want to have that. So turn that on 2.0. AMD fidelity, obviously I have that turned off because I have an NVIDIA GeForce graphics card. I do not have an AMD. And DLSS, I have that disabled as well. Audio, this is just another personal preference thing. For me, I basically just have everything at default, except I do have music turned off. So if you guys want to fuck with that, you can. Push to talk, voice channels, I actually have that set to all, so that way you guys can hear the proximity chat, which there is proximity chat in this game. So if you turn that on, you can hear other people on other teams talking if they have it turned on as well. So there's that for audio settings. Now controls. I do not play on inverted. Obviously, I'm on mouse and keyboard, so that'd be a little bit fucking weird. Play it on inverted. Vertical sensitivity, have that on 50. You always want to keep your vertical sensitivity on 50. And I'll say that one more time. You always want to keep your vertical sensitivity on 50. If you change your vertical sensitivity from 50, what that is going to do is it's going to fuck up your muscle memory with your aim and movement, and you're not going to be able to adapt to the game and keep playing at a pace where you're constantly growing and getting better and better. Like the vertical sense, what the issue with this setting alone right here is if you change your vertical sensitivity to 40, 100, whatever it is, that's only going to be your vertical. Your horizontal is still going to be at I'm assuming a default 50 as well, and you won't be able to adjust that. So your vertical is going to be super fast or super slow, and then your horizontal is going to stay the same no matter what, which makes it really hard for muscle memory for aiming. Like, you don't want to fuck with that. Keep it at 50. I promise you'll thank me later. Okay. Free aim sensitivity 28. You know, I was on 30. I downscaled it a little bit a couple of days ago. It seems a little bit better. Driving sense 30, ADS sensitivity 30, and then my scoping sensitivity is 28. And another thing that you guys need to know, ADS sensitivity is completely different from your universal scope sensitivity. This one right here, if you guys have played third person at all, or even, sorry about that, the G Fuel is making me kind of gassy. Whew. If you guys have played third person, or you guys have played first person, you guys will know that there's two types of aiming in this game. There's the actual aim down sight, which is your universal scope, and then you also have the more tightened hip fire, I guess I could say, where you're not fully aiming down the sight, but you're like aiming to the side just a little bit more in. That one is going to be your ADS. So I'd keep that probably relatively around the same sense as your free aim. And then universal is going to be your red dots, your hollow sights, your iron sight, your 4x, your 8x, your 15x. So you can go ahead and just have a primary sense for all of those combined. Or if you go over to advanced scope settings right here and click enable, you can actually change the sensitivity for each scope individually. Me personally, I like to keep them all at the exact same sense. Like I said, it's another thing just for muscle memory with aiming. I think it's better just to have them all on the same one. So I go ahead, I have that turned on disable, and I keep mine at 28. Crouch, I have on toggle. Walk, I have on hold. Run, I have on hold. Look around, hold, which by the way, if you guys don't know what that key is, default, it's going to be your left alt. I went ahead and switched mine to F, but whatever's easier for you guys' hands. Hold breath, have that on hold. Lean, I have that on hold. I play with my leans on my forward and back button on my mouse. So if you're playing on Q and E, you might want to switch your leans to toggle. Just makes it a little bit easier for strafing. Aim only, I have on hold, and ADS I have on toggle. Now that we're on our key settings, I have all the movement, the exact same, haven't changed that at all. Walk, still on control, run, still on shift, jump, spacebar. I have my crouch on C, prone on Z. So yeah, I got my lean left on my forward button on my mouse, and my lean right on my back button on my mouse. Interact, I have set to E, change view, still on V, auto run, equal sign, and then my look around I have set to F instead of Alt. The swimming, exact same as default. Combat, all this is the exact same, haven't changed any of that. I don't use scroll wheel to change my weapons. I still do 1 through 3. I think it's a little bit easier for you. And let's say you got a pistol or something. If you're really starting to rely on gameplay of scrolling all the way through your full weapon inventory to get to another gun, it's gonna fuck you in the outrun because you're gonna be trying to fight someone and you're gonna go to swap your weapon, and then you gotta do the animation of 2 other weapons before you get to the weapon you actually want to pull out. Whereas if you start training your brain to use your actual 1 through 3 keybinds or whatever other keybinds you like on your keyboard, pressing that keybind once will pull out the weapon you want and only make you do 1 animation. So in the long run, it's still better for you. Faster time to kill with it. Try to stick to that. Don't use your scroll wheel. That's my personal opinion, and I think it helps out a lot of people that actually stop doing it. Special equipment, I still have on 4. Put my grenades on G, just feels a little bit more comfortable. And then I went ahead and used the active skill. I put that to Q instead of G. Holster weapon, have that on X, cancel, E, changing fire mode, B. Throwables, right click, left click, pull safety pen, R. So if you guys want to cook a grenade while you're holding it, just press R and it'll start to cook it. Scope mode, if you guys didn't know, 4X and above, if you guys ADS and you scroll with your mouse wheel, you can actually zoom in and out with the sight. It's actually surprising how many people really don't know about that, but that is a thing. So if you have a 15X, you could scroll all the way out to a 4X. It's up to you guys how you guys end up using those scopes, but it's a nice little tip to know. This is where it gets fun. I put my bandages on 5, put my first aids on 6, and my emergency kit on 7, and then whatever else I have, if you press 8, it just pops whatever you have. This is another good keybind setting that I think every player should get in the hang of using. Instead of having to go into your inventory, press tab, right click on the heal to heal yourself, it's way quicker, and it also helps your sight on a fight when you're in the middle of something to know where everyone's at and still be able to heal without pulling up an entire UI and not being able to see what the fuck's happening in front of you. So if you press 5, quick bandages, 6, you hit a first aid kit, whatever, and you don't even have to do the extra steps of pressing 3 more buttons just to get a heal off. I think it's super beneficial to use keybinds over doing the whole inventory fucking heal bullshit, but again, it's just personal preference. F keys, I don't even use any of these for the energy bars. You could just hold T and it brings up a cog wheel and you could choose those. All crafting, of course, all this shit's default, all of that. And then gameplay, I have my crosshair on default white, firing mode full auto. Everything's full auto except for the DMRs. So change that to single fire, and the sniper rifle single fire. And let's see here. Anything else here? All this is default as well. If you guys do want to take screenshots for thumbnails for your YouTube, you can always come over to this section right here, right in here where smart pings and everything else is. If you turn all of this stuff off, turn it all on disabled, when you take a screenshot in game, your entire right side of your screen, so the box and everything that you have for your abilities, your teammate pings, all that will disappear and you could get a decent little screenshot. Unfortunately, there still isn't anything that I know of yet where you could turn off your health bar and everything on the left side, but it is something that you could do if you do want to get some screenshots for the game. Other than that, I got all of this on default as well, so not much to show you guys, pretty much all the same thing. Alright, thank you guys for checking out this tips video. If you guys enjoy content like this, you want to learn more things about the game, let me know about it in the comment section below. If I don't slur over my words like I always do, because yeah. Other than that, I'm out. Peace out. Have a good rest of your day. Later.